Welcome to our Living Word life groups. My name is Pastor Freddie, and I'm so glad that you've chosen to meet together with the people that you're meeting with this week. We are talking about waiting on God, and we would say, Esperando el Señor. We want to just kind of take a few minutes to dive into that and talk about what that means, and then give you a chance to talk about it with your group for just a few minutes. One of the things we've said recently is, by the study in the book of Jonah and the story of Jonah, is while you're waiting, God's still working. That's not an easy concept. I don't say it like in a trite way to think that it's just easy to accept that. We all understand that it's difficult to wait on anything, but we also learn that it's difficult to wait on God because God's timing is often not the same as our timing. I remember in several times in my life where when I first tried to get a real job, a job that I was excited about getting young, early in my marriage, in my life, and I was disappointed because I was turned down and I had to wait. I remember when my second child was born with a deformity, and it took a long time for us to wait and see what would happen next in her steps of repairing that and doing some surgeries and things like that. I remember several times during my career or even education, in my marriage, in relationships, and in ministry and in my Christian walk, of waiting on things and waiting on God. What I've learned is that over time, that sometimes I think that there's nothing happening, but God is still working and something is happening behind the scenes. The verse that I want to point out to you during this group in particular is found in the book of Isaiah. I have my Santa Biblia, Santa Biblia, my Holy Bible, and I want to read to you from the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verses 29, actually starting at 28. And I want to read this to you, and you guys can discuss this. Have you never heard? Have you never understood? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of all the earth. He never grows weary or weak. Never grows weary or weak. No one can measure the depths of his understanding. He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. Even youths will become weak and tired, and young men will fall in exhaustion. But those who wait in the Lord will find new strength. I just want to let that sink in. Say it again. Those who wait in the Lord will find new strength. They will soar high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. The reason this is so important is because it's not just telling you you should wait on the Lord, but that there is a reward for that. There is strength to be gained. The rewards are not the things that we would consider necessarily rewards. We have in mind what we want as a result of our waiting. But God says what he gives in the waiting is strength, is renewed strength, is the ability to do things that are beyond what we otherwise may be able to do. We'll run and not grow weary. We'll walk and not faint. And God is the one that sustains us in this. God is the one that gives us this kind of strength. But it happens only when we wait on God. So while we're waiting, God is still working. And what I found is that God works in us. He's working in the circumstances. But what I really have noticed is that that's when God works in me. Those times I mentioned to you just a minute ago where, I had to wait on God or wait on circumstances. I remember looking back now, I didn't know in the moment, but I remember looking back now that God was building strength in me. He was helping me because he never grows weak. He never grows weary, but I do. And so I need God. And when I need God most, it seems to be when things are just so difficult. But in those difficulties, while he's building my strength, something is happening in me, and that's when I'm growing. And that's when you can grow too. So as a group, I want you to discuss this time just for a few minutes, maybe a time that you have waited on the Lord. Maybe you are in a waiting season now. And I would encourage you to think about that and then discuss. Maybe there's somebody in your group has had a time where they have felt their strength renewed because they've waited on the Lord. Maybe I've felt like that I wasn't going to make it, that I was going to faint, I was going to fall. But God comes through. God's always on time. His timing is perfect. And so I want you to remember that while you're waiting, God's still working. And his promise is he will renew your strength as you wait in him, and you will be able to run and not grow weary and walk and not faint. God bless you.